I want to say something that I've said before. It's a reminder of a prophecy that I gave. I have been giving this prophecy for the past 2 years. I said in my earlier accounts or narrations of that prophecy that there are certain matters that the judicial courts have failed to judge because the just balance has been tilted in favor of those that are privileged in the corridors of power.
Yes.
And this prophecy affects Zimbabwe. God is the righteous judge. God is the righteous judge. According to 2 Timothy chapter 4. 2 Timothy chapter 4.
Yes.
Let's hear from verse number 6 to verse number 8.
For I am now ready to be offered.
Paul was departing, his time to die had come. He was bidding farewell to his evangelist. They had worked together for some time. I am ready to be offered, yes.
And the time of my departure is at hand.
The time of your departure is at hand, yes.
I have fought a good fight.
Paul has fought a good fight.
I have finished my course.
Now, Paul is finished his assignment. He has finished his course, yes.
I have kept the faith.
He has kept the faith.
Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness,
A crown of righteousness has been reserved for Paul.
which the Lord, the righteous judge,
Yes,
shall give me at that day.
God is the righteous judge. The Lord is the righteous judge.
Yes.
He shall give Paul a crown of righteousness in that day.
And not to me only,
Yes,
but unto all them also that love his appearing.
yes, thank you. He is the righteous judge.
Yes.
The Lord is the righteous judge. The Lord is the righteous judge.
Yes.
There are certain matters that they've never appeared by the doorstep of the court, because those who were supposed to bring those matters, they sided with the wrong people, and they took advantage of the weak, the poor widows, the orphans, the fatherless, and strangers who have nobody that they are patronizing in the corridors of power. There are people who have blood on their hands. They have murdered innocent people. They are witnesses. The dockets never found their way to the courts because they are connected. And there are people who are so powerful that nobody can take them to court, but they are the most offenders in the land. They break the law at will and at whim. God is looking at tears that are shed in the midst of the darkness of the night. Widows and orphans are crying. They are wounded. They were tortured. They are aggrieved. They are in pain and they are in sorrow. Their lives were broken into pieces. Their future was shattered. Their livelihood was set on fire. Some people wanted to teach them a lesson. Some people wanted to avenge. Some people wanted to feel powerful by taking lives, by trampling on the rights, God-given rights of certain people that are created in the image of God. Some people lost their father because their father had seen something that the big fish wanted also. They wanted to displace them. They wanted to take over a mine. And they knew there was no legal way they could take that mine. So they murdered the one who had a license, who owned that place, because there was gold there. There were minerals there. Somebody died simply because he was on the wrong place at the wrong time. What was happening, he was not aware, he was not part of anything. He was an innocent citizen minding his own business. But he was caught in the crossfire. Nobody has apologized, nobody has compensated anyone. Children dropped out of school. The woman can't afford to pay rentals. She is now compromising herself in order for her to provide food for children that can't afford decent clothes and decent meals. The scale of justice in Zimbabwe is not a righteous judgment scale. It's not a good balance. It's an abomination. And God, the righteous judge. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1 is a scripture in which the righteous judge was looking at the just balance, or the balances that men are using on earth.
Yes.
And he is warning the world, when you bring matters to a scale, make sure you don't tamper with the weights to stifle the balance so that it can be in your favor.
Yes.
The butcherman does that. He tampers with the computer module of the scale, and people are buying 800 grams of beef, but they are paying for a kilogram of beef.
Yes.
The scale is deceiving the buyer. It's an unjust balance. That's what we have in the courts of Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I'm talking about the judiciary system, starting from the law enforcement up to the courts. The ZRP, the prosecutor general, and also the courts of law. There is no justice in the courts of law. They are no longer the courts of law. They are now the courts for the law. It's no longer a rule of law. No. How many people do we have in prisons today who were wrongly convicted because the presiding officer was given an instruction by the who's and who's to make sure that they lock him up and throw the keys of the prison cell into the sea? A girlfriend squabble landed somebody in prison. The charges that were leveled against them and the real matters on the ground are different stories altogether. There is a judge who is righteous, and he wrote a scripture, Proverbs 11 verse 1. What does it say?
A false balance is an abomination to the Lord.
A false balance is an abomination to the Lord.
But a just weight is his delight.
But a just weight is his delight. So the Lord delights in a just balance. A just balance is God's pleasure. God delights in a just judicial process, judicial system. Leviticus 19 verse 35 to verse number 36. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment,
Yes.
in metiard, in weight, or in measure.
Yes.
Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall you have. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Yes.
You shall do no unrighteousness
Yes.
in judgment.
Yes.
You shall do no unrighteousness. in judgment.
Yes.
That's verse 35.
Yes.
You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in metiad, in weight, or in measure.
Yes.
Zimbabwean citizens are not measured in the same way by the law. The law is applied differently depending on from whose house are you coming.